Well, it's a tough time for workers in Nigeria due to the harsh economic situation in the country. In the light of this, the federal government has acted on the report of the 37-member tripartite committee on new national minimum wage led by Bukar Goni Aji by approving a pay rise of 25 to 35% for civil servants across various consolidated salary structures. The government also increased pensions by 20 to 28%, but what sounded like a cherry news is taking a different dimension as the Nigeria Labour Congress is rejecting the increase. And the NLC insists on a living wage structure for workers, citing harsh economic realities in the country. BKO, let's have your thoughts on this. Do you think the NLC is justified by the action rejecting this increase in minimum wage?
We addressed that shortly, but I want to talk about what happened yesterday.
Right.
For the first time, the first and only time in 10 years, a non-journalist sat with us here yesterday. It was a travesty, and it was a result of a mix-up in the course of producing the program. Human beings make mistakes, and our producer made a mistake yesterday. I'm saying this because in future, somebody will say, but I saw a non-journalist sit with you people. Why are you saying that I cannot sit with you? Because we've interviewed vice presidents in this country. We've interviewed so many big people. We never allowed them to sit with us. Ministers wanted to sit with us. We said, no. By the character of the program, you cannot sit with us unless you are a practicing journalist. But a mistake happened yesterday, and somebody sat with us. Before people start saying, Jide and Co. gave advantage to someone, because I know our people. This was a mistake, and the people who made the mistake have apologized, and I believe that it will never happen again, because there will be repercussions if it should happen again. So right. we apologize for allowing a non-journalist to sit with us, and I promise that it will never happen again.
Yes, it's so.
Yeah. So, talking about I do not understand the talk about rejecting something that workers had fought for through the years. I think that some of our labor leaders are becoming ridiculous in the way they respond to government's moves. No one is saying this is the minimum wage.
Right.
It is the height of ignorance for anyone to think that, oh, they've given them this in lieu of minimum wage. No one, anybody who is familiar with developments within the labor firmament will not say that this is in lieu of minimum wage. So there is no basis for rejection. They had always demanded for it. People in the tertiary education sector, they got their own. People in the health sector, they got their own consolidated salary structure. And what it does is it enables you to earn a little more. In fact, I remember that here in Lagos, doctors went on strike just for this thing. They were demanding for commerce, consolidated medical salary. They went on strike in this state. We remember. So now what government has done is to say, okay, across the board, we are implementing this for all categories of workers, whether you work for the executive or you work in the judiciary or you work in the parliamentary sector. You are all going to benefit. And now, let's see, because government said the others, those that had not benefited, they will now benefit. So, and those who had not benefited by way of their salary structure they are consolidated public service salary structure, COMS, consolidated research and allied institution salary structure, CONRAIS, consolidated police salary structure, COMPOS, consolidated paramilitary salary structure, COMPAS, consolidated intelligence community salary structure, CONIX, and consolidated armed forces salary structure. That is why within the military, people are happy because it was listed. Some newspaper even captioned it, police, army, to get pay rise and all that. Those who had benefited before, as I said earlier, those who had benefited, the health sector, in form of COMMES, that is consolidated medical salary structure, and consolidated health sector salary structure. Then, of course, the polytechnics, for polytechnics and colleges of education, it involved the consolidated polytechnics and colleges of education academic staff salary structure, CONCPAS, and consolidated tertiary educational institution salary structure. Of course, we had the universities had theirs by way of tertiary, by way of consolidated university academic salary structure. So how do you say you are rejecting something that you have fought for years? It's ridiculous to hear people talk like this. The level of elevated ignorance in our country is disturbing. It's disturbing. No one is saying this is minimum wage, come and take. Come on, we can criticize the government on so many things, but we can't criticize the government for increasing the wages of workers or increasing the take-home of pensioners, because it's also part of what they agreed to do. Except if at a point some people were then saying, oh, maybe they are giving, this is a Greek gift, they are giving us because they don't want to pay minimum wage. Minimum wage is the law. Is the law. It's in the Constitution. You must pay it. You must pay it. And there's no way the government can run away from paying it. There's already a tripartite committee that is talking about that. They've not agreed yet. I think it was the Vice President I met with them the other day. They've not agreed, but we'll get there. We all know that negotiation for minimum wage takes ages. See how long it took President Buhari to approve that minimum wage, because they kept having meetings. They would not agree on virtually everything. The issue, when you increase minimum wage, everybody gets to benefit. Right. Everybody. Whether you are on level 17 or not. Ideally, minimum wage should affect only level 1 to level 6. But in our country, once you do a new minimum wage, everybody gets something. It is by percentage. That's what is called consequential payments. So if you're on level 10, there's a percentage that will be added to your salary. The whole idea is for those juniors who have received a minimum wage to not catch up with you. You don't then suffer because you are not among the lowest, the lowest cadre. You don't suffer. As they are getting some money into their pocket, you too are getting. The higher you are on the ladder, the lower the percentage that goes to you. Right. So this is the thing. Minimum wage, the negotiation, the argument about, no, you should give me 20%. No, you should give me 15%. No, I'm level 16, but you can't give me less than 5%. All of those things take time. They've got to hammer out a deal. And it's not easy, especially in these difficult times. I can figure out that Labour is going to send hard-nosed negotiators to the negotiating table, and it's not going to be easy. But at least this is coming like a sweetener. Previous administrations didn't implement this. A government has come, the remaining 6 categories of workers that were left out, a new government came and said, okay, we are paying all of you between 20 to 35%. You're getting it.
So
everybody's covered now.
So is it a case of miscommunication between both parties, or what exactly? Because from what you're analyzing here, it's different from what the NLC is putting out, saying that they're rejecting it altogether. Because I'm trying to understand exactly where the gap is.
What are they rejecting? They've been fighting for it for years. Why did you fight for it for years if you will reject now? I'm telling you, and people who have a sense of history can bear me witness, that here in Lagos, during Fashion last time, doctors went on strike. Some of us don't forget these things easily. Doctors went on strike for this commerce thing. Now, other categories of workers are to benefit, not just the health and education sector. And why did those ones benefit? Because they went on strike. Most people always go on strike before they can get their entitlement, what is due to them. So government has now done this. You can see that when they talk about public, there is a category that covers public servants. So the different police, armed forces, they all have their salary structure and they will all get a raise. So what is the NLC talking about? Must you criticize everything? If you are rejecting it, do you have some money in your pocket that you want to give those who are already salivating that more money is coming their way? I mean, we can't be we can't be ridiculously adversarial. We can't be doing that and say, oh, this is a labor movement. I know these are difficult times everybody is facing, but no matter how little it comes your way, and nobody is saying it is in lieu of minimum wage. My suspicion is that some people felt, oh, maybe this is what they want to give. It's minimum wage that we want. But our minimum wage will come. President Tinubu even raised the issue of minimum wage before governors. His first meeting with governors, he said, we need to give the people a minimum, a living wage. That was the language I used. I mean, they should cut the old man some slack. Must you condemn everything? It seems that sometimes when government does something good, in order not to give it credit, people will just find a way to say, no, this is wrong. Oh, this is misplaced priority. Let us see your own proper priority. If you say something is misplaced priority, let us see your own proper priority.
Emeka, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think there was a miscommunication somewhere.
Right.
Because for Labour not to have got wind of this announcement by government is strange. Because even government officials, according to some news reports, were saying that they tried to get across to Labour to communicate government action to them, but they could not be reached, which is strange. So government still went ahead to announce it. Now, there's a claim that Labour wanted to ignite some protests today, because there was the expectation that the minimum wage will be announced today.
Can they announce when they've not done anything?
No, yeah, I said expectation. But at this stage, at least to show good faith, government said, okay, let's start with our own workers. Expectedly that it would cascade down the states. That states would also start doing some adjustment, even if it's not minimum wage. But of course, the minimum wage, current minimum wage, expired last month, April. April 18. When President Buhari signed it, April 18, 2019. So it has expired. But of course, it will take some time to negotiate.
Even the president then didn't even follow the timeline.
I know. No, I'm just, of course, giving information. So definitely, it is not something cast in stone. Negotiations are still on. So I think it was a miscommunication, because if you look at it, minimum wage comes into effect after the president has signed, an enabling act.
Right.
So it can't be an announcement. I was surprised when it was the NLC president, making this blunder. Of course, there's a process through which minimum wage passes.
If you are hyperactive about condemning the government, you will make this kind of mistakes.
Yeah, but
before you have even properly,
no need.
Before you have properly even dissected and get a good grasp of an issue, your default mode is simply to condemn. You will make this mistake. You have not seen that this is beneficial to the general.
Because even the press statement from the government said it was for civil servants. Minimum wage doesn't benefit only civil servants. So I don't know where this how this happened. It's unfortunate.
There is an overriding desire on the part of Ajero, especially, to not see anything good in what the government is doing. And it's not healthy. And it's not healthy. Let me tell you, this is before now, I said on this program that, look, when you look at past labor leaders, in terms of his choice of words and all that, is the least mature amongst them all. But we can see now he's toned down the way he was talking initially. Because the way he was talking initially is like somebody ready for a punch fest. But now he has toned it down, and I credited him with toning down his rhetorics. You can't be talking, you can't be using fighting words all the time. No, you are a leader. And this kind of thing, you can't simply dismiss and say you reject.
Right.
Who mandated you to reject? Right. When did you sit? I know the structure of labor, for example. Labor can't call off a strike, for example, unless they won't do town hall, they'll do work to be sure that everybody is carried along. At what point did the people, the beneficiaries, say, no, we don't want? Go and tell government that we don't want it. He has to tone down some of this rhetoric, because I don't see the benefit in saying that you don't want 35% increase in salary. Are you capable of paying those people? If government were to say, okay, because Ajero said we are rejecting, therefore we are not paying this thing again. Are you workers who cannot even find money to transport themselves to their places of work? People who can't fill their tanks anymore. There are people, as high as level 14 in Abuja, they park their cars and take public transport. Are you capable of reimbursing such people? Are you capable of giving them allowances to say, okay, I'm the president of NLC, because we have rejected this thing, now I'm giving you people money. Oh, NLC.
No, but there's also the aspect that some civil servants have been benefiting from this since last year.
Right.
Since last year. So that's what I'm saying.
The people who are not benefiting are the people who have now
been added.
Them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So some people, I know people who have started benefiting from this since last year. I know people who have been benefiting from this on different areas. You know, yes. So these ones are just added. And this Labour and government have been, you know, working side by side on all of these things. So let me just say, well, it was a miscommunication and an avoidable blunder. Not speaking for Labour, I don't belong to I'm not a part of the
Labour is just 5%. Labour is 5%.
I know, Labour wants the best for the country.
I agree. Yes.
And the Minister of State for Labour, Kiro Nyejocha, she should also be commended for coming out to say today that, yes, this is the situation that government is working on the minimum wage. And good news for workers, that is going to begin from May 1.
Right.
So whenever it is, that's a minimum wage, that implementation is from May 1. Yes, that's what the Minister of State said. So it's good news for workers that whenever
the minimum wage commended them for that.
Well, I hope he does too. He's my friend. I hope,
let's quickly
I hope he's watching.
Let him stop some of this.
Let's quickly move on to our next issue of